I am calling to be the bearer of bad news from Monday the 1st. Unfortunately, we don't have a ride for you that day, but as you know, if anything opens up, we'll give you a call and let you know. In the meantime, call us with questions.
The only question I have is something that they can't answer. How am I supposed to take control of my own circumstances and change things for the better when those are the circumstances? You know, I hear people talk about how, you know, if you don't like things, change them, you know. You can choose how this goes. You can choose this, that, and the other thing. First of all, to this day, I struggle with that. It's taken me a long time to realize that, you know, maybe I do have some choices. But, you know, you hear that, you see people who choose to take control over things just decide, okay, I'm going to make this change because I don't want to deal with this crap. Well, that's something that you can do when you have the ability to change things. When you don't, like, I don't want to deal with door-to-door transit, like, any more often than I have to. But in a situation like this, I have to. So, I mean, what choice do I have? Again, I go back to, what do I choose to do? Quit my job? No. Not when I have no other way to support the lifestyle that I want to live. So what can I do except this?
Please stay on the line. The next available reservationist will assist you.
Sit on the phone for 2 to 5 minutes. First of all, I'm going to have to check into this option to book online. But whether I book online or over the phone, the whole point is I don't like to have to use this system. And it's pretty much, I mean, there's not an alternative. The only alternative is spend a lot of money on Uber or LYFT, especially going in the morning, because there is no one to pick me up during the mornings. Although I do have a lot to be thankful for. Between the time I found out there was no ride from my preferred ride service at all and the time I'm making this call, I checked in with one of the very few people that I have to call on. Really, a lot of days that comes down to 2. And one of them is not available this week. The other is able to come through for me. So thank you, God, for her. And thank you, person I'm talking about, for being willing to help me.
How may I help you?
I need to have you guys take me into work tomorrow, so I am calling to make that reservation. Yeah, 7:10 to 7:40. I'm used to that window, but I don't need to be there until 9 o'clock, and they show up as early as 7:10 to pick me up. That's just the reality I live in, but not the most fun thing in the world. And it better be someone who... I hope it's someone who has done this before and just... I told you in my last audio blog that I need to post up to YouTube about my kind of operating protocol, my own little protocol, about handing this map over. Well, I had an incident the other day where somebody didn't want anything to do with that, and really they needed it. But when I called customer service about that, they said, well, it's really best if you not try to offer that. I mean, if you want to have it, fine, but really their procedure is they are supposed to be looking at the instructions. They have a manifest, they have information, they have supplemental information, because he looked up my workplace. They said there is supplemental information in their manifest. This driver's mistake, as far as we're concerned, is not to refuse to look at the map when he really needed to. His mistake was to not bother to look at the manifest and the supplemental instructions. And that we need to document and deal with. But it's not about the map. It's about, instead of asking you what door, he should have looked at his instructions. So this better be somebody who bothers to look at their instructions. Thank God, when they pick me up to take me home, so far it has always been a driver who has thought to look at their instructions, apparently, because I've never had a problem with them picking me up at the wrong door. Well, that's not true. Yes, I did have a problem with that a long time ago. which is why I just swore to myself, okay, these people are not taking me home. And I've had to go back on that promise to myself because I have no other option except to either resign or take expensive ass alternative transportation, neither of which I am willing to do. It's like, I'm not willing to do any of this stuff, but I have to do one of them. So what's the thing that I'm gonna do just because I have to do one of them? The answer to that turns out to be take this really less than convenient, less than fun, less than ideal to me door-to-door transit system. Again, though, if it wasn't for this person who is picking me up tomorrow, I would have to take them both to work and home from work. So thank you, God, for this person that I'm talking about. You know who she is. She knows who she is. Never mind who she is. But what this means for my audio blog tomorrow is that I won't be audio blogging when I go home at all, because having her drive me is a huge blessing, but it's not necessarily something I really feel like I should be trying to audio blog, like, at all. Especially when we haven't seen each other for a month. There's a lot that we might want to talk about, and that's just not audio blog material. So I'm going to just not even take out the recorder while that time is coming. I'll go straight from work to home. To whatever extent I'm going to audio blog at work, which I may or may not, but I'll just be straight from work to home. But first things first, I've got to get into work. And the next thing you'll probably hear is tomorrow when I actually have to go into work, and let's hope it goes smoothly. I mean, it often does. I just worry because the last time I had to do it, it didn't. I mean, it worked out, but yeah, I definitely could have lived without that experience. Okay, it's the morning. It's the next day. It's the morning that, the first morning I have had to go to work since I just finally acknowledged that I haven't taken a PTO day for weeks, and I just realized really suddenly that I just kind of deserved one and wanted one. And I mean, I asked for it hoping that I could get out of trying to deal with a lot of people would think, well, so you've got a transportation issue, that's tough shit. Well, it is, and I deal with it every day, and it was getting complicated, and I was like, I don't want to deal with this. And I was finally like, okay, you know what? Let me just ask if I can get a PTO day. If they don't want to grant it, I don't blame them, but let me ask. And she was so cool with it. She was like, sure, if you want to. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'll just do it. At first I was like, well, let me just see if I can if I can arrange something, okay. If not, I may have to if you're cool with it. And then I was like, wait a minute, no, I'm not. I have not necessarily been raised to be nice to myself. I've been raised to, like, put everyone else's happiness and needs above my own. And although that's not necessarily a bad thing, it also leaves, when people are doing that their whole life, it leaves them ignoring their own needs and thinking that they are less than deserving of what they want and need. And I was finally like, you know what? I haven't allowed myself to take time off for a while. I know I've got some booked for later, but she's allowing it. I'm going to take it. So I took it. And apparently I was in more need of a mental and even physical health day than I realized. It was so nice to just not be obligated to anyone for one day. And then I was obligated to, my class that I'm taking. And of course I did that. And then the whole weekend, Saturday, I just kind of did my own thing. Yesterday, I was tired, more tired than I'm not sure what was going on with me, but I slept more yesterday than I do most days. But I just think of it as, well, for some reason my body just really needed rest. So, whatever, I mean, if I'm going to be able to manage and not, like, be sick or something, then, like, a day of rest and sleep is, if that's what I needed, then that's what I needed. So, here I am now. It's... Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 5:50 a.m.
Yeah, I should still be sleeping, but my alarm's going to go off in like 10 minutes, and I passed out at like 9-something last night, and woke up at 5:18, and I'm like, well, I might as well try to be up and going, especially when, due to circumstances beyond my control, combined with circumstances that were the last thing I was feeling like doing was working, I didn't get as far in my transcription work as I'd like to. It's still on track to get to the person who needs it by their deadline, by the deadline that they have set up for me, but I always beat that deadline and, have this part done, the part that I'm in the middle of. I have this done by now, so that at a time like tonight, by tonight, if I could have been more on top of it, I would be farther in it than I am, is the point. But I'm not finished with it yet. But that's okay. It's still going to get to the person by the deadline, and I may not beat the deadline, but I'll definitely meet it. But how do I do that? When I'm feeling motivated to do something, I work on this. So I've been up for about, 20 minutes now, maybe longer, working on this. And I'll probably work on this a little bit more before I get started getting ready for work. I've got about an hour and a half before my window opens. One day, my transcription business and or whatever other business I might offer is going to be how I make money, and if I don't want to go anywhere or be up at this time or that time, I won't have to. I got the call at, I believe, 7 o'clock on the dot, give or take 30 seconds, that they were 15 minutes out. Of course, it was an automatic, computer type call, and it's
7:22 a.m.
Shouldn't I have gotten the call that they're here by now? I'm going to go outside and just hang out there. Wish me luck. I'm sure they'll be here any minute, but wish me luck actually getting there. I think I've talked about all of this before. It's the random driver. Whether it's door-to-door transit, aka TriMet Lyft, or Uber, or LYFT, it's a random freaking driver. Doesn't necessarily know me, doesn't necessarily know my workplace. I don't like having to count on the random driver. But in general, there are not enough drivers who know me to get me where I want to go every time. And if I have to deal with a random driver, that is not my security system. That's something else.
7:20. Press home to unlock.
A PayPal notice. I'm not even going to take the time to find out what it is. It's probably reminding me about my Patreon subscriptions or something, or telling me that they're paid. Well, be that as it may, the one person I don't have it in my heart to unsubscribe from, even though her Patreon is at kind of a transitional, we're not quite sure what's going to happen with it period right now, and the other, I wholeheartedly support her, and I'm happy to give a couple of bucks to her cause. Anyway, or their cause, maybe more accurately. Anyway, random drivers, I don't like to have to use them. But until I can take control of my career to the extent that random drivers are not a necessary part of it, I don't have any choice. Now, I'm gonna get outside just because I feel like it would be a better idea for me to be outside waiting than standing in here, sitting in here, wherever, wondering where they are. The wind is making more noise than the vehicles. Probably because there's few to no vehicles to be heard. Is this them? I think this is them. They've stopped like it was them. Hi! Well, you seem to at least recognize me. Do you recognize where I'm going?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm never quite sure. Frankly, I expect it to not be when I'm dealing with you guys, because you gotta. How big's your fleet, and how many drivers are working for you? I mean, tons.
I don't even know.
Right, so many that there's no way to know from day to day. Have they ever been there before? Have they ever? Thank you. Someone who has this time. As paratransit rides go, this one's gonna go really well. It already has gone really well. Talk to you when I get to work. Okay, I'm at work. It is 8 o'clock. Again, I'm here with an hour to spare, but that's okay. See, if every door-to-door transit ride would go as well as that one did, I might not dread it so much. But they can't promise me it'll always go that way. It's just as possible that it could go other ways. And I just really look forward to the day that I don't have to worry about it at all. But realistically, that's probably years in the making. But I could sit here and complain about it and complain about it and complain about it. Or I could take action to get us even half a step closer to that day. And right now is not the time to try to do that, but I need to figure out what needs to be done and do those things action by action, single action by single action, and eventually it'll all pay off. In the meantime, I've got a day's worth of work to do in about an hour, so I'm going to turn this audio blog off. YouTube vlog based on audio off. And just hang around the break room doing my own thing for an hour and then get started. Okay, I am coming off my lunch break, and I think I explained in my last audio vlog, whatever, what my job entails, but hold on, I need to be paying attention to where I'm going. Yeah, I'm coming back, and I thought I'd demonstrate, if you will, what I'm doing. I take down a new box of envelopes, put it on the table, and take the paper off of here. Here's the sticky stuff. Fold it down, rub it down to make sure it's going to stay closed. Then go on to the next envelope, do the same thing. Next one. Next one. Next one. And just do it over and over again. Just do it for all of these. Until I've finished all of the, sealed all of the envelopes in this box of envelopes that is like an arm length and a half long. They're pretty long. And they're 8 inches wide. And I just yeah, that's just what I do the whole time I'm working. Okay, I just got home. Like I said, if every time I had to go to work, it would work out as smoothly as today did, maybe I wouldn't dread it so much. I mean, yeah, I had to be ready way earlier than I, needed to go into work, but, spending an hour in the break room, I could be stuck having to deal with worse, So, tomorrow and Wednesday, it is gonna go smoothly because I've got good rides set up, preferred ride and relative, respectively, and then preferred ride and preferred ride. For Tuesday's preferred ride service is taking me in, relatives taking me home. Wednesday preferred ride service was just able to come through all together, which is always nice when that happens. The only thing is they're coming a little bit later than, they usually do, but I'll just let the office coordinator know that and it'll be fine. They're still expected to get here 45 minutes before she has to clock out and go home, so it'll be fine. Sorry this audio blog / vlog was, sorry this wasn't so interesting, but, or maybe you did find it interesting. Audio blog, vlog, I don't know quite what to call these things. They're vlogs, but they're audio based, and that's how I do a blog / vlog. That's just what I do. If I'm gonna do day in the life kind of throughout my day kind of recordings, I'm gonna use an MP3 recorder. And yeah. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Check out Shipped if you need to get hooked up with a grocery delivery app. I love it. I hope it's available in your area. They have been a godsend to me. Check out Aira if you're blind or visually impaired and just could use some human eyes virtually watching what you're dealing with and just kind of helping you out, talking you through what they're able to see. Check that out. Those links are both in the description below. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.